So there's been a couple of schedule changes this afternoon. There's no workshop, so we're going to do the first 3 talks, and then I'm going to give a 5-minute video to get your input on an interesting case. Then we'll break for a few minutes to have the poster review, and then we'll finish up with the track 8 and try to end early today. Okay? The first talk is by my son Wyatt, who's been working with me for 4 years now, and he's going to talk on placing hair into scar tissue as an alternative to scar excision. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Thank you, and thank you to the symposium. I'll be discussing follicular unit transplantation into scar tissue as an alternative to surgical scar revision in hair-bearing scalp, scar extended follow-up. So the problem we face now is scars. These scars show because of their lack of hair, their pigmentation mismatch. These scars can be either hypertrophic or can form keloids, and if these scars cross aesthetic unit boundaries, they can distort facial appearance. Some common etiologies of these scars are from previous hair transplants, neoplasm removals, failed scar revision, cosmetic surgery, or other trauma. And there are 3 main reconstructive options. There is surgical scar revision, SMP, scalp micropigmentation, or hair transplantation. Scar revision has multiple advantages and disadvantages, being that it's a rapid solution. It can repair a scar and obtain hair for a transplant at the same time, and it is a well-established surgical procedure. However, the patient might have fear of additional surgery. There is no guarantee of improved results. The patient's hairstyle might preclude a new scar, and scar revision might alter anatomic landmarks. Here is a good example of scar revision. Scalp micropigmentation has one main advantage, being that it is well marketed to the public. However, it is only a temporary solution. The ink often bleeds and is often a color mismatch with the surrounding skin. Here are some over examples. And so the third option is hair transplantation, which provides both a natural look and is a permanent solution. However, the patient might have a limited quantity of hair. The patient might need that same hair for future hair transplants, and the results have been variable when placed in scar tissue. But once the patient has chosen to proceed with a hair transplant method, there are 2 options, FUE and strip. We tend to guide the patients towards an FUE if they have a history of scars, if they have a desire for short hair, or if they have a fear of strip procedure. We tend to lead the patients towards a strip procedure if they are already having strip removed to gain hair, and because it is more consistent than FUV. So here's our patient series. It's ethnically diverse, ages range 16 to 62, multiple etiologies, skin cancers, knives, previous hair transplants elsewhere. Most of the patients chose the FUE procedure. However, there were some that did strip. The results from our series are that all 14 patients had either good or excellent coverage. There was no shown difference between strip and FUE in results. Hair growth took up to 15 months, and when placed into thick fibrous scars, the hair grew slower but grew nonetheless. So the choice between strip and FUE is based mainly on hairstyle for the patient. We left more subcutaneous tissue around the roots of the grafts, and in cases of FUE, the grafts were not trimmed at all. And as a result, slightly bigger recipient slits were made than traditional hair transplants. So patient 2 in our series was a 31-year-old Hispanic male who received a scar from a knife injury to the chin. We placed 200 FUEs into his scar, which crossed an anatomic boundary, which distorted his facial appearance. Here is his picture at 3 months. You can see the graft shed completely, and then here's his picture at 10 months, showing good coverage of the scar. Patient 3 is a 49-year-old black male who had a hair transplant elsewhere and received a scar. We placed 500 FUE grafts into the scar, and here are his pictures at 2 years, showing excellent coverage. You can't see the scar anymore. Patient 4 is a 25-year-old Asian male. Oh. Okay. Patient 4 was a 25-year-old Asian male who received a scar from a scalp reduction. We placed 1,800 grafts from a strip procedure in his scalp, shown here. And here are his pictures after 1 year, showing excellent coverage. Patient 5 is a 52-year-old Hispanic female who received a chemical burn, scar, and lack of hair in the front of her head. We placed 300 FUE grafts into her head. And here are her pictures after 1 year, showing good coverage. Patient 7 is a 27-year-old white male who had a craniofacial surgery and was also balding in the frontal triangles. We placed around 2,000 grafts into his scar, and you can see his hairline shows good coverage, and you can't see the scar anymore. Patient 10 is a 52-year-old white female who had scars from an endobrow procedure. We placed 225 FUE grafts into her scar. And here are her pictures after 13 months, showing good coverage. Patient 11 was a 16-year-old Middle Eastern male who had a scar from a Z-plasty surgery. We placed 250 FUE grafts into his scar, and here are his pictures after 1 year, showing good coverage. Patient 14 is a 33-year-old Hispanic male who received a scar from a hair transplant elsewhere. We placed 500 FUE grafts into his scar, and after 8 months, there's good coverage. So if video works. Nope. Sorry about that. And so in conclusion, hair transplant is an excellent option compared to surgical scar repair in certain cases. Both FUE and strip procedures offered equal results in our series, and careful graft dissection and placement are key for consistent results. Thank you.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Sure.
Next up, we have Dr. Michael Woolfield from Bernstein Medical, who's going to talk about his ARTIS system. Dr. Woolfield.